Before they were motorhomes, they were house cars, and this one's coming next on History on Wheels.
Hi, welcome to History on Wheels on RV Newsnet at RVNN.TV. I'm Dave Dufour, and we're at the RVMH Hall of Fame in Elkhart, Indiana. And with me here is Al Hesselbart, the curator of the Hall of Fame. And we're about to talk about not a motorhome, but a what?
A house car.
Okay, why is it not called a motorhome? It looks like a motorhome.
It looks like a motorhome, but the name hadn't been established yet when these units were built.
Okay. What's the vehicle that we're looking at here?
What we have here is a homemade model AA Ford chassis built into a living driving unit, a house car that was recently restored and presented to the museum.
Okay, how did this come into the museum's possession?
Having been built and used in the 1930s, it was stored in a barn in Alabama and lost for 30 or 40 years.
Okay.
It was then located by a gentleman from Tennessee. Bobby White found it, talked the owner into selling it to him, restored it, used it in some parades, and then generously presented it to the Hall of Fame.
So we can thank Mr. Bobby White for this vehicle. So this is essentially a Ford truck that has a homemade box interior built on the back end, correct?
Yes, it's a model AA Ford, which says it was the light-duty Ford truck that used Model A car powertrain.
Oh, okay, I see. So what kind of mileage did you get on this, do you know?
I have no idea, but 10 would be surprising.
10 would be surprising, okay. Well, I can see from here that it's actually quite beautiful inside. We've got to look at the interior. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to go inside and see what makes this thing tick on the interior.
Let's go.
Today's show is brought to you by Roku, the streaming video box for your HD or conventional TV. With Roku, you get the best programs from dozens of sources, including Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Video, and of course, RVNN.TV. Roku starts at only $59.95. It's easy to set up, and you'll be amazed at the quality and variety of on-demand TV at your fingertips. For more information and to order the Roku box, visit rvnewsnet.com and click on the Roku ad. That way you support RVNN and you'll Roku in your home or RV in no time. Do you Roku?
Hi, welcome back to History on Wheels. I'm here with Al Hesselbart, the curator of the RVMH Hall of Fame in Elkhart, Indiana. We've taken a step inside this 1931 Ford house car, but it wasn't the house car part of it. Of course, wasn't built by Ford. In fact, it's homemade, or it's a homemade vehicle. But I can't help but be struck by the beauty of the wood and the craftsmanship in here. It really has the feel of a well-built fishing or hunting type cabin to me.
Yes, it's very obvious that the artist who built this was a craftsman, was a woodworker. The detail, a lot of the work in it is really quite amazing. And in the restoration, because it had been stored for so many years, almost everything in here is original to 1931.
Okay,
just been refinished.
Been refinished. There's a little bit of a change in terms of the electrical. The electrical was originally 6-volt. Is that what you said?
Original 6-volt. Current used.
Okay. And
most of it's been converted to 110 or to the 12-volt system common today.
Right, right. But it has sliding wood windows. There's one to your right there, and a beautiful desk table kind of combination. Has a sink as well. Now, the one thing I don't think you'd get by with in an RV of today would be a pot-bellied stove for heat, would you?
I think the Department of Transportation would have a little difficulty with a flaming fire going down the road in today's vehicle.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Not to mention the fact that, I mean, even at the time, it was probably maybe handled right, it was probably safe enough, but it wasn't necessarily a great idea either.
Safe enough is definitely a measured term. How much is enough?
That's right.
Yeah, safety had very little to do with it. Necessity to stay warm was the generating factor.
That's right. That's right. Well, but it does seem to have all the comforts of home, more or less, and it certainly is kind of it's sort of a preview of what motorhomes have become today. Although even though it's primitive by that standard. Now, one of the things I've noticed too is we're fairly comfortable back here. We got a nice padded couch back here in the back end of this vehicle, but the driver didn't have it so good.
No, the driver sat on a wooden bench with his riding partner tight on his elbow.
Right.
It's basically a school desk type seating from the early schoolhouses. And considering that all travel was done on dirt roads, it was probably a pretty bouncy ride.
That's right. So maybe big guys like me might be a little more comfortable than skinny, bony people who.
I think those of us who carried our own pillows were.
That's right. Yes, I think you're. Of course, it may be that they carried their own pillows as well. So, and no power steering, of course. You have what we call the Armstrong type.
Armstrong type power steering.
Yeah.
It has an ice box. Of course, refrigeration was unknown at those days.
Right.
But it does have a zinc-lined box to keep your ice and keep your milk and perishables cold.
Right. Well, it's certainly a beautiful vehicle. I'm also fascinated by the jelly jar light fixtures up there. So that's sort of like the real clue that it's homemade, isn't it?
I think that really is.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us here on History on Wheels and telling us all about this beautiful 1931 Ford Housecar. This is Al Hesselbart, curator of the RVMH Hall of Fame. I'm Dave Dufour with RV News Net. Thanks for joining us.
Today's show is brought to you by Angie's List, where you'll find thousands of unbiased reports and reviews about service companies in your area. Whether you're looking for a roofer, plumber, house cleaner, dentist, or even a doctor, Angie's List members share their experiences with each other so that you can choose the service company that's right for your job. Companies can't pay to be on Angie's List, and the reviews come from people just like you who have had experience with the companies mentioned. To find out more, go to rvnn.tv and click on the Angie's List ad.